Historical proof that Lord Shiva reside in Kailash. Deaths of atheists and adhamas proved it. Mount Kailash is a mountain that cannot be climbed by anyone and should never be attempted to do so. Russians did deep research on Mount Kailash, originally spelt as Kailash Parvat, abode of Bhavan Shiv, and proved that the mountain is indeed axis and nodal point of this world. One of the ideas the Russians have put forward is that Mount Kailash could be a vast, human-built pyramid, the center of an entire complex of smaller pyramids, 100 in total. This complex, moreover, might be the center of a worldwide system connecting other monuments or sites where mysteries and unexplained phenomena have been observed. The idea of the pyramid in this region is not new. It goes back to the timeless Sanskrit epic of the Ramayana. Sita Mata was abducted by Lanka king Ravan. No one knew where Sita Ma was kept, so a huge search exercise was planned with the Sugriva and Vanar Sena, team of chosen beings, monkeys, who were intellectually, physically and mentally far superior from humans of that time. They took rebirth to be a part of Leela for avatar of Bhagwan Vishnu to annihilate adhamas, anti-Vedic beings. The exercise also helped Vanaras gain new knowledge about various places in Bharat. The search begins and 3 mountain peaks of the Himalayas are mentioned: the Kala, Sudarshana and the Devasakha. Across these peaks, Sugriva informs the Vanaras, is a vast expanse of barren plain land, crossing which they shall see Mount Kailash. The locations of celestial mounts given in Ramayana are accurate according to Ramayana. The vast expanse of land are the plains of Tibet, and the location of Mount Kailash is geographically correct. There are 2 Kailash peaks in Tibet in today's maps, but a quick search on Google Maps by looking up Kailash, Buring, China, will pop up the right Mount Kailash. Those who are familiar with Mount Kailash will recognize the peak and will be able to identify the grooves which are cut horizontally across, popularly referred to as The Jata of Bhagwan Shiv. An oblong reservoir, or The Yoni, just below the peak, and Lake Mansarovar, Mapam Yamko, down at level ground below are also easily identifiable. A look on the zoomed satellite image of the Mount Kailash at Gri, Tibet will reveal some unique well-known features of Mount Kailash. Sugriva then mentions the mansion of Kubera built on Mount Kailasha, constructed by the celestial architect Vishwakarma. Sugriva instructs The Vanaras to move ahead. He gives them 3 more mountain peak landmarks. He mentions Mount Kroncha with a highly impassable tunnel. Like Shiva brought down the Ganges onto Bharat Varsha, earth, from the heavens, Himalayas, his son or his junior, Skanda, is credited with having chiseled a tunnel through Mount Kroncha. One of the best known ancient tunnels in China is the Gulinag tunnel in the Taihang Mountains. Up until 1972 only an ancient path chiseled through the rocks of this mountain linked the villages in the area to the outside world. Here is an image of the ancient path of Gulinag, which was improved in 1972, not by the government, but once again by the locals. It took them 5 years to complete the task. The Mount Kroncha reference given in Ramayana is one of the peaks in the Taihang range, which indicates that the tunnel is very ancient. The path is clearly mentioned in Ramayana, from Kailash in the Himalayas to Kroncha in the Taihang range. There are many other mountain peaks, namely The Treeless Mount Kama and The Abode of Birds, Mount Manasa, that The Vanaras will see. The history in Ramayana is referring to these 2 as Tuanji as Kama and Tb as Manasa. Sugriva instructs Vanaras to scour all these mountains thoroughly in search for Sita Mata. These are the mountains of the Kinling range which falls between the Himalayas and the Taihang mountains as the Vanaras move in the northeast direction from Kailash. The two highest peaks, and therefore most visible, in this chain are the Tuanji and the TB. Big pyramids created by celestial beings matches history of Ramayana. Then Sugriv mentions another peak called Mount Menaka, which is identified by a massive mansion built by demon architect by the name Maya. Just as the Ram Setu of Ramayana, oldest bridge ever known to mankind, lies exactly in the spot mentioned in the Ramayana, and the Gympie Pyramid of Queensland, Australia, referred in Ramayana as a peak-like structure built by the celestial architect Vishwakarma. Similarly, the Mansion of Maya is also located on the same place as referred in China. It is another prehistorical megalithic structure built by celestial beings of Ramayana. The maximum number of ancient pyramids of China, whose existence until recently was completely denied, lie in the Shaanxi province. The Chinese government tried hard to hide these facts, but when they failed to decipher their existence, Vedic structure and purpose, they admitted them to be very ancient. The largest one of them, the Zion, is only 184 km from the TB peak, well on the path of the Vanaras mentioned in the Ramayana. In the entire Himalayan range, from the parts of Bharat, India, to Tibet and parts of China, there lies range of ancient pyramids, like Mount Menaka is in Shaanxi province. These huge mountain peaks or pyramids are protected by Mother of all peaks, Mount Kailash, an abode of Bhagwan Shiva. Details of Ramayana proved correct about spirituality of Himalayan range. Sugriv informs Vanaras that the next landmark, after crossing over a vast province, would be a large lake by the name Vakhana. Traveling north of China, crossing the Mongolian province or plateau, one would arrive at the eastern tip of Lake Baikal in Siberia. It should be noted that Vakhana is also known as Baikal, Lake of Siberia. Sugriv further added that the other, western end of Lake Vakhana is a river by the name Sheloda, and if the Vanaras were to follow its path northward across many miles, they would reach the Northern Ocean. This is indeed true. Sheloda has been identified as the present-day Angara. River Angara flows from the western tip of Lake Baikal and after many miles falls into the Kara Sea of North Arctic Ocean. The name Kara has a Sanskrit origin which means tribute or ray of a celestial body. Ancient Indian texts refer to Siberia as Uttara Kuru. Uttara means North. Kuru is the name of the Indian tribe that had travelled north. Kara, the name of the sea into which the Angara river falls, is also known to be a distorted form of the ancient Sanskrit name Kuru. It is also said that Kara sea gets its name from the Kara river which falls into it. Kara here therefore also refer to the Sanskrit Krishna, Krishna or Kala, Kal, meaning black. Bamboo boats were invented by Vanaras of Ramayana. Sugriva instructs the Vanaras to cross Lake Baikal with the help of the Kichaka bamboo that grows there. This has reference to the Siberian bamboo grass which was used by the locals to cross the lakes in this region. Sugriv also tells Vanaras that northern lights will become visible as they move northwards from Lake Vakhana. There is very beautiful description in section 43, verse 36 of Kishkinda Kand. Valmiki says, going beyond that expanse of water, you will come upon a sky, which even when devoid of the stars or the moon or the sun is illuminated by rays, as if there is light emitting from the self-luminous, God-like sages who repose there. The lights which sage Valmiki is referring to is seen since thousands of years, which only recently is known as aurora borealis. The scientist community has conflicting views on how it occurs, but its answer lies in historical Ramayana. The last landmark mentioned in Uttarakuru is Mount Soma. Mount Soma has to be one of the peaks of the Urals. The highest peak in the Urals is The Naradnaya, which in the local language means mountain of the people. In Sanskrit too the word has the same meaning. Nara means people or human, and Udaya means elevation. Many rivers and mountains of Siberia have Sanskrit names, including Mount Manaraga, River Kama, Lake Kulind and many more, proving beyond doubt that sages once traveled these places to meditate peacefully. Russians claim that all the mountains shaped in pyramid forms are actually built by supernatural humans who were technologically advanced, again seconding the details given in Ramayana that celestial beings did build these places. Axis Mundi or center of earth is the axis that make earth revolve. Mysteries of Kailash Mansarovar are not mysteries for devotees of Bhagwan Shiv Shankar, secrets, enigma, mysteries that Russians claim to have solved. Before dwelling into details of Russian scientists, let us see what Vedas say. According to Vedas, there was definite purpose for each creation across the globe. Mountains, trees, hills, lake, rivers, Ganges, each of these divinely elements were bought or created by Vedic gods for some purpose. The reason for the creation of mountains and hills by Vedic gods is given here. The purpose of axis and how it controls the seasons, days and nights and weather of the world. The purpose of axis and how it controls the seasons, days and nights and weather of the world. The axis mundi, the center of the universe, the navel of the world pillar, Kang Tise or Kang Rinpoche, the precious jewel of snow, in Tibetan, Meru or Sumeru, Swastika mountain, Mount Astapada, Mount Kangrinboge, the Chinese name. All these names belong to one of the most holiest and mysterious mountains in the world, Mount Kailash, Kailash Parvat. Both geography and history play roles in the sacred significance of Mount Kailash. This holy mountain rises to an altitude of 6,666 meters. It is called Mother of all mountains, though in terms of peaks in the nearby Himalayan range, which includes Mount Everest, its grandeur lies not in height but in its distinct shape. 4 sheer faces marking the cardinal points of the compass, and its solitary location, free of neighboring mountains that might dwarf or obscure it. Mount Kailash, Kailash Parvat, is regarded as the earthly and eternal manifestation of the Hindus Mount Meru or Sumeru, the spiritual center of the universe, the axis mundi in Buddhist and Jain as well as Hindu cosmology. The area around this great mountain is the source of 4 life-giving rivers, the Indus, Brahmaputra, Surlej and Karnali, which is a major tributary of India's sacred Ganges, begin here. To further enhance the symbolic authority of the mountain as a sacred place, 2 lakes are situated at the base of the mountain. The higher lake Manasarovar, one of the highest freshwater lakes in the world, is the sacred lake and is round like the sun. The lower lake Rakshasthal, one of the highest saltwater lakes, is the Devil's Lake and has the shape of the crescent moon. The 2 lakes represent solar and lunar forces, good and negative energies respectively. Lake Manasarovar remains calm irrespective of the weather conditions, whereas Rakshasthal stays constantly stormy. The most ancient scriptures of the world, Vedas, Puranas, Shiv Purana and other Upanishads clearly inform to the human race that Mount Kailash, Kailash Parvat, is abode of Lord Shiva. To Tibetan Buddhists, who devised their own religion following Buddha, a Vedic Hindu by birth. Kailash is the abode of the tantric meditational deity Dame Chok. Hindus see Kailash as the throne of the great god Shiva. Being ancient faith, this is considered more authoritative than other religions. Jains who follow Jainism, which emerged from Hinduism, also revere Kailash. For them, one of their most significant deities received enlightenment here. Buddhist, Hindu and Jain pilgrims from the world over go to this holy mountain to circumambulate. Climbing Mount Kailash is forbidden. Tibetan monks claims that the only person to have ever been atop the sacred mountain is Milarepa, a 11th century Tibetan Buddhist yogi. Here it can be seen that all religions that emerged from Hinduism are following ritual and rites of respecting same mountains and hills that Hindus revere as Vedic entities created by gods. It is a popular belief that the stairways on Mount Kailash lead to heaven. History of holy places around Mount Kailash range was spread throughout many centuries, has attracted millions of Hindu devotees, other religious people, and also became of interest to philosophers, adventurers, theologists, satists, and even political leaders. It received many names: Shambhala, Shangri-La, etc. Mount Kailash is as mysterious as its size. A great mass of rock soaring to over 22,000 feet, Mount Kailash has the unique distinction of being the world's most venerated holy place at the same time that it is the least visited. The supremely sacred site of Hindu Dharma and 3 other religions and billions of people, Kailash is seen by no more than a few thousand pilgrims each year. This curious fact is explained by the mountain's remote location in far western Tibet. No planes, trains or buses journey anywhere near the region, and even with rugged overland vehicles the journey still requires weeks of difficult, often dangerous travel. The weather, always cold, can be unexpectedly treacherous, and pilgrims must carry all the supplies they will need for the entire journey. The landscape around the mountain is rugged and dry but crossed by crystalline blue streams and other bodies of water. Near the sacred mountain is the source of the Indus, Satluj and Brahmaputra rivers, and on its south side are 2 freshwater lakes, the easternmost of which is the highly sacred Lake Manasarovar, Mapam. With an altitude of 14,950 feet, Mansarovar is the highest body of fresh water in the world. The other lake, Rakshastal, also has legendary significance. According to Vedic Hindu texts, Shiva, the god of destruction and regeneration, resides at the summit of a legendary mountain named Kailasa. Mount Kailasa is regarded in many sects of Hinduism as paradise, the ultimate destination of souls and the spiritual center of the world. According to a beautiful description in the Puranas, Mount Kailash's 4 faces are made of crystal, ruby, gold, and lapis lazuli. It is the pillar of the world, rises 84,000 leagues high, is the center of the world mandala, and is located at the heart of 6 mountain ranges symbolizing a lotus. From it flow 4 rivers, which stretch to the 4 quarters of the world and divide the world into 4 regions. Kailash is sacred to other religions which emerged from Vedic Dharma, Hinduism. The Jains call the mountain Ashtapada and believe it to be the place where Rishabha, the first of the 24 Tirthankaras, attained liberation. Followers of Bon, Tibet's pre-Buddhist, shamanistic religion, call the mountain Tisay and believe it to be the seat of the sky goddess Sipaiman. Additionally, Bon myths regard Tisay as the site of a legendary 12th century battle of sorcery between the Buddhist sage Milarepa and the Bon shaman Narom Bonchung. Milarepa's defeat of the shaman displaced Bon as the primary religion of Tibet, firmly establishing Buddhism in its place. While the Buddha is believed to have magically visited Kailash in the 5th century BC, the religion of Buddhism only entered Tibet via Nepal and India in the 7th century AD. Tibetan Buddhists call the mountain Kang Rinpoche, the precious one of glacial snow, and regard it as the dwelling place of Dame Chok, also known as Chakrasamvara, and his consort Dorje Phagmo. 3 hills rising near Kang Rinpoche are believed to be the homes of the Bodhisattvas Manjushri, Vajrapani, and Avalokiteshvara. Pilgrims to Kailash after the difficult journey getting there are then confronted with the equally arduous task of circumambulating the sacred peak. This walking around the mountain, clockwise for the Buddhists, counterclockwise for born adherents, is known as a Kora or Parikrama and normally takes 3 days. In hopes of gaining extra merit or psychic powers, however, some pilgrims will vary the tempo of their movement. A hardy few, practicing a secret breathing technique known as Lungom, will power themselves around the mountain in only 1 day. Others will take 2 to 3 weeks for the Kora by making full body prostrations the entire way. It is believed that a pilgrim who completes 108 journeys around the mountain is assured enlightenment. Most pilgrims to Kailash will also take a short plunge in the nearby, highly sacred and very cold, Lake Manasi River. The word Manas means mind or consciousness. The name Manasi River means lake of consciousness and enlightenment. Adjacent to Manasi River is Rikasthal or Rikshas, the lake of demons. Pilgrimage to this great sacred mountain and these 2 magical lakes is a life-changing experience and an opportunity to view some of the most magical scenery on the entire planet. Pilgrims climbed Mount Kailash. All 4 religions believe it would be a serious act of sacrilege to set foot on its slopes. Legend has it that the only person to have reached the summit is the Buddhist champion Milarepa, who flew to the top in the 12th century, and that all others who have ventured to defy the warning have died in the process. The mountain is located in a particularly remote and inhospitable area of the Tibetan Himalayas. Only those in the best health are able to undertake the journey even to the starting point of the circumambulation, let alone walk 52 km in a single day. A few modern amenities, such as benches, resting places and refreshment kiosks, exist to aid the pilgrims in their devotions.